When something goes wrong in your business, what's the first thing you hear? It's not my fault. Well, what happened was, I thought somebody else was handling that. These responses all have something in common. They all fall below what I call the point of power. The point of power is that point where we get to choose, am I going to take ownership, accountability, and responsibility? Or am I going to be in blame, excuses, and denial? Today, I'm going to show you how to shift your entire team above this point. But first, we need to talk about where you operate. Because your team will never rise above the point if you're operating below it. Let me ask you something. When your last project didn't meet its goals, what was your first thought? Did you blame the economy? Your team's execution? Limited resources? Some below the point responses. The market changed. The team dropped the ball. We didn't have enough time. Nobody told me about. If only we had more. These responses might feel natural. They might even feel justified. But they're keeping you trapped below the point of power. Here's the truth. Leadership starts with taking complete ownership of outcomes. Some above the point responses. What can we learn? How can we adapt? What's our next step? Where can we improve? What will we do differently? Let me show you how to make this shift in your daily operations. We'll start with something I call response redirection. It's simple, but incredibly powerful. When someone comes to you with a problem, listen carefully to their first response. The response pattern: below the point, but the client changed their mind. Redirect: what options do we have now? Below the point: we don't have enough time. Redirect: how could we adjust our approach? Notice what's happening here. You're not criticizing their initial response. You're guiding them to a more powerful perspective. Think of it like extending a hand up. The first key moment is during your morning meetings. This sets the tone for the entire day. Some morning meeting shifts. Problem: we're behind schedule. Power response: what's our recovery plan? Problem: customer complaints are up. Power response: what patterns are we seeing? The second key moment is during project reviews. This is where blame and excuses love to hide. Instead of asking, why are we behind? Try, what do we need to get back on track? Some power questions. What have we learned? What resources do we need? How can we prevent this next time? Who needs to be involved? When can we implement changes? Watch how this shifts the energy from defensive to proactive. The third key moment is actually the most important. It's when things go right. Yes, you heard that correctly. Success moments are where you cement behaviors above the point of power. You do a success analysis. What led to this win? Which decisions worked? How did we overcome obstacles? What should we repeat? Who contributed to success? When you analyze success with the same intensity as failure, you build a blueprint for operating above the point of power. But here's where most leaders miss the point. They celebrate the win, but skip the learning. Turn wins into wisdom. Document the process. Identify key decisions. Note team behaviors. Map resource usage. and plan the future application. Let me give you a simple way to implement this tomorrow. I call it the power pause. It's a 3-second pause after any statement that falls below the point. So the power pause. You hear the statement. You pause for 3 seconds. You ask an elevating question. Wait for their answer. Build on their response. This pause does 2 important things. It gives you time to choose your response, and it signals your team that a shift is needed. Think of it like dropping a stone in water. The ripples create change without force. Your team will start to recognize this pause. Eventually, they'll make the shift themselves before you need to. The team evolution is recognition of patterns, self-correction, proactive thinking, solution focus, and an ownership mindset. Start tomorrow with just 1 meeting. Notice where responses fall relative to the point of power. Use your pause. Guide the shift. I've created a comprehensive guide that takes you deeper into these leadership principles. It's called How to Become a Great Leader, and it's yours free. Just click the link in the description below and I'll send it right over. Remember, every response either rises above or falls below the point of power. Where your team operates is a direct reflection of where you choose to operate. Choose to rise above the point. Your team will follow.